scare me, but you should fear me. The sun is setting, don't trust your hearing. You made a monster, I'm your imposter. Go ahead and wander, but don't trust the water.
Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back with another true crime video, and we are going to be doing the story of Sibusiso Mpungose. Now, if you're new to the channel, I try to do these videos every single week, so check out the playlist. I've done a couple already, and I'll definitely be doing more in the near future. Now, for today's video, I do have a disclaimer. It does deal with the passing of kids, so if you know that you cannot stomach this type of content, kindly click off and check out my other videos that do not deal with such. Now, without wasting any more time, let's dive into today's video. Our story today takes us to Pinetown in KwaZulu-Natal, where Sibusiso Mpungose and Xoli first met in 2007, and they instantly clicked and became a couple. At the time, Xoli already had a daughter named Ayaka Gianni with a man named Vusi Gianni. Although they were separated, Vusi remained a constant in Ayaka's life. Nonetheless, Xoli moved on with Sibusiso and they got married and had 3 kids of their own. Their first child together was a little boy named Sibusiso. Then they followed up with a girl, Kuhlekonke, and then another boy named Kwezi. And together they became a family of 6, which was they had Ayaka, the oldest from Xoli's previous relationship, and the 3 babies as well as themselves. And for all purposes, they literally looked like a normal family of 6 that lived in Wynberg Park in Pinetown, and everything was normal for a couple of years. Unfortunately, as the years went on, Sibusiso started being abusive towards Xoli and hitting her in front of the kids. In 2009, at this point, Ayaka is 16 years old and is going to school in Pinetown Girls High, and she is in grade 11. And the other kids, the oldest biological kids between the 2 of them is 10 years old, and the other one is 4, and the other one is 6. So they're all old. The younger kids were going to a township primary school, which was very close to where they stayed, while Ayaka was a little bit further at Pinetown Girls High School. Like most families, the family had a weekday routine where Xoli would leave very early in the morning with the 3 little kids, and she would drop them off en route to work. And then a little bit later, Ayaka would follow. She would catch a minibus taxi to Pinetown Girls High School, and then after her, Sibusiso would leave to work. Now, on Monday, the 2nd of September 2019, Xoli and the kids came back from school, and so did the father a little bit later than them. And things were normal until Sibusiso started with his fight again, and this time he was accusing Xoli of having an affair with Vusi Gianni. Now, if you remember, Vusi Gianni is Ayaka's biological father, and obviously because he is Ayaka's biological father, they still maintained a cordial relationship where he was paying, for instance, Ayaka's school fees, and he would always give Xoli a call just to find out how's the child doing, does she need anything. So they maintained that good relationship in terms of co-parenting. They started arguing, and Sibusiso got physical once more, and at this point Xoli was really tired of Sibusiso, so she presented him with divorce papers that she had already had with her. And this literally takes Sibusiso off, and he was so upset, he got extremely physical with her to a point that she ran away to the neighbor's house.
Umama ufike la kwami egijima wathi angivale iminyango umyeni wakhe ufuna ukumbulala. Ngase ngibuza mina ukuthi yini ngiqabene yini, bayesethena usefuna ukumdivorce abezwana ngoba manje yamhlukumeza nje kwesikhathi ambeka imese la kwesikhathi amfaka afuna ukumfaka uzankosi.
She then went back home when things subsided and everything seemed normal again, and they all went back to sleep that night. The next day, which was the 3rd of September 2019, everything seemed so normal. Xoli went to work as usual. She took the 3 little kids with her and dropped them off en route at their primary school. And a little bit later, Ayaka followed as usual. She took a minibus taxi to Pinetown Girls High School. But the only thing that was different that day is Sibusiso did not go to work as he usually would, because he would be the last one to leave for work. That day, he didn't. Instead, he went to a local hardware and bought new locks for the house, ran back home, and he started to change all the locks to enter the house. Sibusiso then booked a taxify to the kids' primary school. Now, it's important for me to note that the whole family literally uses the same login profiles for their taxify. So if Sibusiso, for instance, booked a taxify, then Oli would be able to see that because an email will pop up on her side, or if she looked at the app, then she will be able to see. So they all use the same profile. So nonetheless, Sibusiso booked the taxify and made his way to the kids' primary school. He got to the school and basically told the teachers that he is collecting the kids, and it was extremely early. It was probably hours and hours earlier than the mother would normally come to fetch them, but he just told the teachers that no, they have somewhere to go, so he was mandated by the mother to come and collect them. Now, obviously, no teacher is going to say no to a father when he's coming to collect his kids, and there's not even a reason to verify this with the mother because literally they have the same type of authority. So the teachers let the kids go, and he took the kids with them back to the house. So nonetheless, Sibusiso went back home via a taxify once again, and when they got home, Sibusiso sent the oldest, the 10-year-old Sibusiso, to the shop to go buy a couple of things. And obviously, as a little girl, your dad is sending you to the shop, you're going to go. So she went on to the shops, and while she went, Sibusiso started the most atrocious thing ever. So Sibusiso took the boys inside the house, he locked the house, and he took Kutlekonke, who was 4 years old, to one of the bedrooms and he hung him with a dressing gown belt. And the little boy passed immediately. He then took the second child, 6-year-old Kwezi, and he hung him in a different room with a dressing gown belt as well. And he also passed on. He then waited for Sibusiso to come back from the shop, and immediately when she got into the house, he took her to the main bedroom and literally did the same thing to her, and she passed immediately. When he was done hanging all 3 of his kids in different rooms of the house, he packed a small bag and he put a dressing gown belt in there again. And he left his 3 little kids hanging and he locked the doors. Now you must remember he's the only one with the locks at this point. And he called another taxify and he made his way to Pinetown Girls High School to get Ayaka. Now, around this time, the mother was knocking off work, so she made her way to fetch her 3 kids at the primary school. And when she got to the primary school, she went to their respective classes, and all the teachers basically told her that, no, man, your husband came here earlier and collected the kids. Immediately, the teacher said that. Literally, it was a huge red flag for Koli because 1, the husband has never ever done that before, and 2, she remembered that they had an argument the day before. So the first thing she did was rush to the police office to get help, and they all made their way to her house. When they got there, the first thing that they noticed was that the locks were changed, and they all immediately tried to break down the lock so that they could get in. And lo and behold, when they got in, it was a disaster. While all of this was happening, Sibusiso arrived at Pinetown Girls High School, and when he got there, he spotted Ayaka chilling with a group of friends, and he started making his way towards them. Before he got close enough, Ayaka spotted Sibusiso and attempted to hide from him. But he got so close and literally said, "Hey, Ayaka, mashambe," meaning, Ayaka, let's go home. And at this point, Ayaka said, okay, I just have a few things that I need to collect from class. And she acted as if she's going to collect something from class. And she literally in private told her friends that if something happens to me, tell my mother that my stepfather collected me from school and he's the last person who had me. She took down a piece of paper and a pen and wrote down her mother's numbers so that they can give her mother a call when she has left. So this just tells you that Ayaka did not trust her stepfather, and 2, that literally kids can see when stuff is going wrong in a household. She then left with the stepfather. They got into a taxi and went back to Weinberg, and he took her to a forest-like area not very far from where they stayed. And when he got there, instead of hanging her, because she was bigger than the other kids, he decided to use the belt to strangle her with it, and she passed immediately. He then went on a step further and took a pen and a paper and wrote down a note. He said, "Nai parcela yakho Vusi Gianni," which basically means that here is your parcel, Vusi Gianni. Now, Vusi Gianni is Ayaka's biological father, who Sibusiso suspected was having an affair with Xoli. Sibusiso then went to drink in a tavern not far from his home once more. In the meantime, the mother was able to go inside the house and spotted her little babies hanging.
Uma sengibheka kwifoni ngiyathola ama-emails ube-requesta this Taxify Uber thing request imoto to pick up iy'ngane ukuze zibe early ngifike mina like sezikade ngifike ngoba singena kanye almost nje hlukana ngo-5 minutes ukufika ekhaya so befuna zifike kuqala kakhulu nami. Then uma ngifika emaxesha kuthiwa iy'ngane zihambile ngifike esikoleni ingane ihambile simane siyekade police station uma bethi siyafika ushintshe isikhiye isikhiye enyangweni amaphoyisa asenqamula isikhiye sithi siyangena iy'ngane zami ziyalenga zonke
zilenga ewindini
like in one of iroom lentana umophele kanje ngentambo yegown lokugown and then in my room also
ulengiswa bebalengisela in separate rooms.
Ushuthi uma seyiqedile wathatha another Taxify ukuzolanda uyakha ePinetown Girls. ePinetown Girls thi uyakha umbonile ngithi ayakha phela mdala uyazi nangama-divorce papers uyabona endlini ukuthi uyabheda so watshela abangani bakho ukuthi nawe baba ningasho nithi ngihambile kanti uyambona wabhala i-cellphone number ayakha inika one of her friends ukuthi banike umamami mtshele ukuthi ngithathe ubaba sibheka namaphoyisa up and down ngishiya lezi ezinye zilenga endlini like zisalenga kanjalo ufuna lo saphila.
Okay.
So Ayaka's mother, seeing what just happened, she now wanted to go find at least the other daughter. Maybe she's still alive. So they all made their way to Pinetown Girls High. And when they got there, the other kids narrated exactly what happened and that the stepfather came to collect her and they told her about the note that she left. At this point, Oli wrote a note on Facebook asking her friends and followers to please help her find Ayaka. A few hours later, her body was found, and unfortunately, this would confirm that all 4 of Oli's kids had passed away. The search for Sibusiso Mpungose was on, and it took almost 24 hours to find him, but luckily on the 4th of September, he was found and he had a few injuries on him from his run. So they took him to a local clinic before he was taken to jail, and this is what the nurses had to say after they discharged him.
Ambulala. Ubucabangani ngempela. Next time ubuya la uyasizela ngifuna bakufuna.
Sibusiso pleaded guilty and confessed everything that he did, and he went on to say that the reason that he did it is because his wife asked for a divorce and he thought that his wife was having an affair with Vusi Gianni. And the whole thing did not need to go to trial, obviously, and it went straight to sentencing, and he got life for each and every one of his kids. The kids were later on honored with a beautiful send-off that was televised on national television. And on that somber note, we have come to the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.